working on a sequence to boost our immune system since we're getting into winter and right around the holidays especially, you're around a lot of people with different germs that you might not be used to. Your immune system can probably use a little bit of help making sure that you don't get sick. So there's a few different components that are going to be emphasized in this practice. The good news is that pretty much everything that we do in our yoga practice is good for our immune system. But there's a few things that are extra good. One of them is doing an inversion because this helps your circulation. It helps specifically your lymphatic system to circulate through the lymph nodes and make sure that it's filtering out things that we don't want moving through our body. And we're going to work on some of the areas where the lymph nodes are concentrated. So the groin area, the armpits, the neck, the back of the knees are some of the places that you find a little collection of lymph nodes. We also want to work on movement of the center of the body because that's one of the collection areas for the lymph, and the digestive system has a huge amount to do with how well your immune system is functioning. So let's start with legs up the wall. One of the best things that you can do when you have that first little feeling that you might be getting sick. And you're just going to sit with your hip as close to the wall as you can get. And then it's not very graceful, but you swing the legs up. And then once you're there, you do a little wiggle to scoot closer. So my hips are right up against the wall. And then you can either rest your arms down at the sides, or you can go up and do a over the head or in the cactus. Now the other thing that we want to work on is reducing our stress. And we can do this through our deep breathing, just doing some ujjayi breathing here. In and out through the nose if you can. And what I'm focusing on is movement in my belly. I want lots of movement with my diaphragm because that's going to massage the digestive system. It's going to make sure that everything that's supposed to be moving around here is getting a little bit of assistance. Now for this one, the longer you stay here, the better. If you want to do this for a little while you're watching TV or something, just to let the circulation move around a little bit better, that's great. But for right now, we'll bend the knees and walk the feet down. So we're going to alternate opening the space in the hips, the neck, and the armpits, and then compressing them so that we help with the circulation through the lymphatic system. And draw the knees into the chest, start to walk them out wide. This is just like you're doing Malasana squat, like a nice low squat on the floor. And we have good pressure into that groin area. Now we'll reach down and grab the ankles or the arches of the feet, whatever's comfortable to hold, and we'll come up into happy baby with the heels right over the knees and start to give a little bit of downward pressure. Keep that deep breath going. It's the most important part. If we're stressed out, the body burns a lot of energy just working on that stress and thinking and worrying, holding tension. If we release that stress, it leaves a lot of energy for the immune system to do what we want it to do. We'll fold the feet back down onto the wall. And we're going to do what's called a thymus thump. And the thymus is a gland, part of your endocrine system. It's located right behind your sternum. And we're going to do a little bit of percussion on it to send some vibration through and make sure that it's really working. So we're just going to take our fingertips and alternate tapping. Not so hard that you're going to bruise yourself, but enough that the vibration goes through your sternum. want to do is nice deep twisting. On the left side of our rib cage, kind of tucked up underneath, is the spleen. And that's an important organ that works in our immune response. So we want to make sure that that's getting enough circulation, that it has some stimulation so that it's working as effectively as it can. I'm just going to walk my feet over to the right side. And as I do this, it's opening up some space here. Take a few breaths like that. Walk back up to the middle. And then over to the other side. So now I'm getting a little bit of compression into the left side. To the right so that we can push up and come onto the mat. So we'll start out in table, knees right underneath your hips and hands right underneath your shoulders. And we're going to bring the right knee into the chest and then stretch it back. So we open up the front of the hip and then we squeeze it. One of the things that we're trying to do with this is stimulate the lymph nodes in the groin area, but we're also trying to build some heat in the body. If you get some good movement and you build up some heat in the body, right at the beginning stages of when you feel like you're getting sick, it gives your body a little extra oomph to fight whatever it's trying to fight off. So as you do this movement, put really strong breath behind it. And then we'll switch left leg out and then pull it under. Inhale, exhale. That leg down. We'll come back into sitting. We're going to take the hands behind the back into our yoga mudra. You're trying to reach the knuckles down toward the floor. Roll the shoulders back. We'll drop the chin toward the chest and start to roll the head from side to side. Working on opening and compressing the lymph nodes through the neck. Come back up into center and then roll them into child's pose. And as the head comes down, lift the arms up. You can start to sway the arms from side to side. Inhale, come back up into sitting. Okay, let's take the blocks underneath our hands. And we'll start out in a lunge. So like I said, one of the things we want to do is build some heat in the body. And we're going to do some switching back and forth with our lunge. And this will help to get some nice deep breath going. We're going to step up, step back, step up, step back. Now if you're comfortable with that and you want to go a little bit more intense, we're going to do a jump switch. So you'll switch both legs at the same time. Switch. Like that. Alright, let's step left leg back, fold down onto the legs, and we'll come into a sitting position. Keep the arms behind the back, and lift the chest. Just coming up really tall. So now we'll do another move to work on our thymus. This is a move from Kundalini Yoga. We're going to take our left arm back. The right hand, the pads of the fingers at the top of the palm here is going to hit the sternum. And again, not so much that you bruise yourself, but enough that you create some vibration there. And then right. Inhale, exhale. And the stronger your breath, the more you'll get out of this. Keep it going, a couple more breaths. And slow it down. Bring the hands into the heart, bow the head. Take some slow, deep breaths. Release the hands down. Now we'll end with a breathing exercise. Now we want to get movement in the diaphragm, movement for the digestive system, and we want to create heat in the body. So Kapala body is a good breath to practice at this time. It's also really good because if you feel like you're just starting to get sick, a lot of times you don't have a lot of energy, you feel really run down, and Kapala body is a great breath to give you more energy. So we'll start in a comfortable seat where you feel like you can lift and keep your belly open. If this doesn't work for your knees, then you can definitely sit in a chair or you can sit cross-legged, whatever's comfortable. And you can use the hands on the belly if you're not familiar with Kapala body. It helps to use the hands for a little bit of feedback. And we'll start with an inhale about 3/4 of the way full, and then we pump the belly and the diaphragm up and in. That's an active exhale. On your inhale, you just soften and the air gets pulled in. So we'll inhale 3/4 and start to exhale and pump. Start to slow down. And I'll release the arms. And then to end it off, I would suggest going back over to the wall and doing legs up the wall or practicing shoulder stand so that you get a really good inversion. But I'll show you a second type of legs up the wall, the Parikarani, that you can do using a block to get even more benefit for your digestive system and your circulation. So we'll start the same way. Bring the hip to the wall, swing the legs up. And then little wiggle to get yourself all the way into the wall. So I'm just going to bend my legs, put my feet there, lift my hips up, and slide a block underneath it. So what that does is it puts my hips higher than my shoulders, and there's even more of an inversion so that the circulation comes down the legs and back up toward the heart more easily, and it helps with that flow of the lymphatic fluid. So you can stay here for several minutes and just let everything come back down. Putting the block underneath your hips also creates more opening through the bottom of the lungs, through your rib cage, creates more freedom for the diaphragm to move during your breath, and that kicks up your relaxation response. It helps you to relax even faster than if you were doing this with your hips on the floor. So feel free to stay here for as long as you want. Do a nice shavasana with the legs at the wall. If you start to get any numbness or tingling in the feet, definitely give yourself a rest and slide them down. But stay in this pose for a little while. Really enjoy all the benefits that it has to offer.